Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim. Now let's see if this keeps working or not. If it doesn't, well, I'll do one of my terrible editing jobs and just splice the whole damn thing all together again. Well, howdy. I decided, first of all, this is a Church Warden Rossi. It's a deep, bold, rusticated. And no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I decided I'd open a new can of tobacco. This is called Seattle, oh gosh, what is it? Seattle Club? Come here, Gizmo. You got light on you, and I can see. Oh, wait a minute. There's a pair of glasses. Problem is when you get old and blind, you know. Seattle Pipe Club, Mississippi River. Rich Virginia pressed tobacco spiced with original leaf latakia and perique. A Joe Lanford blend. And I've yet to open it, so let's open it and see. Oh, it smells delicious, and it is leaf cut, so it means you have to sort of break it up like this to throw it into the bowl. It does smell a little bit more spicy than the stuff I usually smoke, so we will see. We will see. I'll just put a little bit in there. But like I said, this is a deep bowl, and it can take a lot. So. Also, I found one of my father's old Zippos. Oh my, that is good. And it is spicy. Anyway, now you stay working. I wanted to talk about a little bit about Czechoslovakia, and specifically about a little town called Brno in Czechoslovakia. And what's Brno? Well, the main city of Czechoslovakia is Prague. Brno is the second largest, and this is the south of it. Was Czechoslovakia, now the Czech Republic. Well, we'll get into that. Well, Prague was the seat of the Bohemian Kingdom. Well, not kingdom, it was a grand duchy under the Habsburgs, and later a independent kingdom. And they had by vassalage a couple of princedoms to the south that were called Moldavia. And one of the kingdoms was ruled from the city of Brno, and it was a Moldavian princeling. I cannot pronounce his name. It's a jawbreaker Czech word. And I learned a few Czech words, but that one I don't know. But why am I interested in that? Because there's a company in Brno called CZ. And CZ stands for, here's one I learned, Česká Zbrojovna. It means the Czech Armory. And they're a company that makes guns. And they've made guns since the 1500s. But they're just really, really good at it. They're not quite as old as Beretta, but they're sort of on the edge there. And that company has come up with some interesting designs. Yesterday, I think I showed this one. This is not a CZ. This is a 1884 out of Switzerland. But this is an exact line-for-line copy of the CZ75. CZ they use, by the way, as a brand name for things. So CZ and a number, and that's what they call it. Well, I got three others here that are CZs. This is a CZ70. It's a sort of a copy of the Walther PPK. A little bit different, but a little bit the same. Yeah, I'm sure it's not loaded. I don't think it is, but oh, you never know. Yeah, it's not loaded. So anyway, so Walther, sort of like a Walther PPK, but you'll notice it has a different sort of safety on it, and a bolt going through here. So yeah, more like a PP. Two others I've got. This is a CZ38. This was what they designed as their main army pistol just before the Nazis conquered them. They were there in Brno when the Nazi war machine rolled in, and some of their inspectors came over there and says, "Yeah, you're doing good. Keep making those, and we'll ship those to the Eastern Front." And this is what they were using mainly. These were one of the substitute standards on the Eastern Front. It's in 380. Has a very interesting design. The the way it works is just absolutely unbelievably weird. Well, I think I've discussed this in another video, so I'll just leave it to that. And then this one is a VZ, well, this is a CZ52. And this shoots 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. And it was because the Czechs disliked being told what to do by Russia to go ahead and build a Tokarev copy. And here's your data package to use. They said, no, we got a data package. We'll make it ourselves. And they made this. This is a really interesting gun. This and the G3 line from Heckler & Koch are the only roller-locked guns I know of. It just has the weirdest system in the world on it. And I think, yeah, I did a video on this one as well. Now, you might see some guns that are marked VZ instead of CZ. Well, that's because in the Czech language, VZ means Vzor, and Vzor means model. So model 52, that they have a rifle. I've got one on the wall over there. That's a VZ 52. CZ 52 came out the same year, but they designated that CZ 52 just so you wouldn't mix them up. But this is only 4. They've got, I don't know how many other designs. They had a CZ 50 before this 71 came out. This one's interesting in one respect. Back in the 70s and 80s, during the Troubles in Northern Ireland, the Irish Republican Army armed their people with these. They got them from CZ and Brno via Muammar Gaddafi. And this is what you would find in the hands of an IRA terrorist of that era. It's a really interesting pistol. It's a 32 auto, by the way. And they would have that. They also had AKs and plastic explosives they also got from Gaddafi. And Gaddafi trained a bunch of their operatives in training camps down in Libya. And they were very good at the naughties that they pulled. I mean, they killed Lord Mountbatten. They almost blew up the Parliament at one point. I think they did a rocket attack on number 10 Downing Street. Irish Republican Army was not a pushover. They were something real, and real to worry about. Anyway, just a discussion of CZ pistols and a history of sort of a history of Czechoslovakia. By the way, it was Czechoslovakia after World War II. Well, actually, during World War II, they were merged together, and well, for a while. I mean, the Nazis pulled all kinds of stunts and said this is a protectorate and that's part of it is protectorate and whatever. That all got weird. And then when the Russians took over, they put Czechs and Slovaks together and made Czechoslovakia. After what was 1990 and the collapse of the USSR, the Czechs and the Slovaks decided on their very own to separate and become 2 separate republics. It was called the Velvet Revolution because there was no revolution. It was, adult men sitting down at a table and deciding and signing a piece of paper, and they just broke up their country and made 2 countries out of it. Perfect concept there. The Slovaks were far more socialist and more agrarian. The Czechs were far more industrialist and capitalist. By the way, the Czech Republic is one of the few places, them and Finland, are probably the 2 places in Europe where what we would call the Second Amendment really rules. You can own a gun in either one, no problem. And, well, Switzerland's pretty good too. But anyway, these are an example of the genius of the engineers at Brno. And I consider it genius. I've got 4 Czech pistols. And I wish I had more. I mean, they did make some other designs that were just, I have a lot of pistols, but, if I get into a kick, and I got into a Czech kick for a while, and they're just a wonderful design, I think. Especially this VZ52, wherever, that one, this one, is just a cool design. This is a clunky looking pistol. It's not very well weighted. It's not very ergo. But the design, go look up CZ52 and see if you can figure out how that works. It's not a Browning lockup system. It's not a blowback. It's sort of a hesitation blowback, kind of. It's a roller delayed blowback is what it is. the G3 is, they say it's a roller lock, but I think they work the same way. I mean, if you look at it and look at the way it's designed, it's the same way. The rollers lock out, and then when the pressure is reached, they're pushed in, and the slide retracts. What's to know about that? It's just an elegant design. Though it just does hell to any of the cartridges in these shells that come out. Very difficult to reload for it. It's an interesting design, but it's not a very eco-friendly one in terms of recycling your brass. Funny we should talk about eco-friendly with shooting, but hey, everybody else is talking about it with everything else, so why not? Anyway, just what I wanted to talk about today. Happy trails.